Hi, friends. Question I've been asking myself a lot a few years ago why auto rooms don't have toothpaste, usually. Have you been to an auto room? Yeah. Most of them don't have toothpastes. You cannot brush your teeth. Yes? I mean, everybody has lived exceptions to that. But as a rule, most of them don't. Do you recognize what I'm describing?
Been to the reception to
ask. You've been to the reception to ask.
And they have soap.
And they have soap. But when you are in the auto room, you don't have toothpaste. Why? They have many things. I mean, if you've been to a luxury hotel, you have a plethora of very luxurious toilet things. Usually. Very different kinds of creams and things like that, and you still don't have toothpaste. And I mean, more strangely, right? After 2001, traveling with liquids is a pain. And if you don't put luggage on the bin, you have this limit about how much you can put. And the toothpaste is, you always bring your own toothpaste to hotels. You don't bring shampoo to the hotels. You need shampoo every day, but you assume the hotel will have shampoo. And assume the hotel will have air conditioning. But you assume they won't have toothpaste. Why?
They don't care about our
dental hygiene. Because we need toothpaste every day, right? I mean, there are days I don't wash my hair, but there is no days where I don't need to brush my teeth.
We thank you for that.
Thank you. Right? So that got into my nerves, and I tried to seek why. Why that happened? And the answer is very interesting. The answer is hotels only have two things that make people come, right? They have the situation. You don't travel. Usually, don't go to a hotel. Travel because you want to go to this specific hotel, right? You're going to visit something. The hotel is just somewhere you're going to stay, but it's not a destination by itself. I mean, it happens, but it's rare. People usually don't go to travel for the hotel itself. So when people choose hotels, they choose either because the hotel is geographically placed in somewhere that is interesting for them, right? Near the city I want to be, etc., in a good part of town or something like that. Or because the hotel is good, is noted well. They have a number of stars, right? So the hotels have this list of things they have to follow to have those stars. And they follow it. It's a checklist, right? They follow it. And that might surprise you. There is no toothpaste in that list of things. Putting toothpaste for the guests doesn't give the hotels any more points towards having a better grade. So it doesn't help them having more people. So they don't invest in that, right? Because the list is telling them everything they need to be to have a better note. So to be graded, they don't need to have toothpaste, so they don't. Yes? So there is a very interesting question that is raised by that. Why does that list doesn't have toothpaste? I got very interested in that question then. Why make a list of things that is important for hotels to have? And I will note you based on that list of things. And have on that list of things, things like, what is the size, the minimum size of a bathtub? And what is how much milliliters of shampoo you need to have at minimum, and things like that. And not have toothpaste. Why?
Because it's made by very old people that have teeth.
No. Very good idea, but no. Because the people who make that list, not the hotels, the people who make that list, they make that list by looking at hotels and say, okay, the good hotels, they have this and this and this and this. Right? So the list is a statistical thing. They take in consideration what the good hotels have, and they put on the list. Because hotels don't have toothpaste, it doesn't go on the list. Because it doesn't go on the list, the hotels don't buy toothpaste. So what's happening here is, from the point of view of the hotels, the list is prescriptive. It prescribes what reality should be. From the point of view of the list makers, the list is descriptive. It describes what reality is. And my point, trying to tell you this is, we are full of this exact shock in everything we do in every company. You have people creating things on the idea that will be descriptive, and people using those things on the idea they are prescriptive. And it generates the exact same shock. When you create a test, are you being descriptive or prescriptive? Prescriptive, usually. Unless you make a characterization test, then you are descriptive. When you create a spec, you're trying to be prescriptive. When you try to transform an organization, try to say, well, let's have a maturity level. Right? People are trying to change how they behave, so have to have a maturity level. At level 1, you have this, level 2, you have this, level 3, you have this. People that create those maturity levels are doing this in a manner that is descriptive. I'm trying to see what I see. I see that those people are better, they have this. Those people that are less better, they don't have this. It's descriptive. But it's then immediately treated as prescriptive. Your bonus will not be held if you don't have at least this. And this exact confusion is in the heart of a lot of suffering in your industry. And I would invite you to open your eyes and see it around you every day. Thank you very much. It was my lightning talk.
Thank you. It actually reminded me that there are some organizations and people that deliberately make their descriptive models prescriptive. And a perfect example of that is Lean Startup Book.
Yes.
And if you haven't been on this conference last year, there was a talk by Dave Snowden, and he actually quite directly mentioned Eric Ries and Lean Startup Book, because he asked Eric Ries personally a very simple question. So Eric, you interviewed a bunch of successful companies, and from that you describe how they reach success, like what are the characteristics, experiment, get out of the room and stuff like that, pivoting, MVPs. Have you ever interviewed unsuccessful companies? And Eric said, why the hell I would do that? Because they are not successful. Why do I need to learn what they have done incorrectly? And Dave told him, because they were doing exactly the same. And they were still unsuccessful. And the whole Lean Startup movement is actually trying to prescribe the things that successful companies tend to do and seed the idea. That's why they got.
It's describe things they do as prescriptions to things people should do.
However, there is no scientific evidence that these particular prescriptions will actually describe success.
And another good example for me is living documentation. Living documentation is descriptive documentation, and this is very good. It's a very good thing to have. But you should not tell yourself, these are my specs. Anyway, thank you. Let's go.